fled from jail has come, still calling out Saracen evil. Reporters, politicians, bastards, all can no longer hide crimes medieval. Land of St. George, said Tommy Robinson, the dragons preying on your children. Protect the girls of this island, and together liberty will defend. And light beating black and blue in the streets of England where he fights for you. They'll fight for him and the honest ones, for imprisoned brothers and our murdered sons. Land of St. George, said Tommy Robinson, where is the freedom our fathers won? Lionheart and Churchill too would be thrown in jail right along with you. Our Luton lad chained in prisons dark still stands tall with his conscience free. On all of our hearts he's laid his mark to defy their tyrannical decree. Land of St. George, said Tommy Robinson, the dragons preying on your children. Protect the girls of this island, and together liberty will defend. Hey, Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson, say hey, Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson, say hey, Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson, say hey, Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson, say hey, Tommy, Tommy.
Police presence was needed at a protest in Kensington. A group calling itself Muslims Against Crusades was faced with a counter-demonstration by the English Defence League. A police officer needed hospital treatment for a head injury, though it wasn't serious. The police later gave the Muslim protesters an escort through a local tube station to make sure the two sides were kept apart.
You all know him? You all love him? Okay. Rabbi Benjamin Kinnamon. Give this man a warm welcome, thank you. Joe! I don't know how long I've been waiting to take this shit off.
Right, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, my name's Stephen. I'm a member of the English Defence League. I said we're travelling to Stoke today, part of a national roadshow where we are raising awareness to the threat of militant Islam and the threat of extremism in our communities, which it is in many of our communities that live in diverse communities. And we're just trying to raise awareness and bring the whole country together. So one of our main mottos is black and white unite, unite the colours, unite the faiths, in the face of extremism.
And Stephen, how is he DL involved in the boys and the boxing?
We basically just support them. It gives you a belonging, a certain division. Every town's got their own divisions, and we support our local lads. We support our local British forces the same way we support our local fighters. They're representing our town.
How do you feel about the boys setting up a gym for the boys to box and people to meet?
It gets kids off the streets. It gives them discipline. It's just good for the general community. It's good for bringing all the different lads together as well from different backgrounds. Because the organisation's got thousands of members now nationwide, even in Luton we've got hundreds of members, each member just to give a little bit, or we have fundraising events, it all adds up to a lot of money. So like today, for example, we're raising money for a local lad. His name is Michael Swain. He lost his legs fighting in Afghanistan in November, and we're all giving everyone the opportunity to buy him a drink just to make a difference to him, the same way if we all put our money together and have fundraising events, we can make a difference for the kids in the community. We're hoping to raise funds throughout the organisation in order to set up the gym, to get the kids off the streets, to teach them discipline, just general activities to bring all the kids in the communities together. And we'll do this fundraising through, we've got a massive membership scheme now, and we just generally do different fundraising events, different auctions just to raise money and whip up money, because we've got so many members. If every member puts in a little bit, it all adds up to a lot of money.
How many members do you have in your organisation?
We've got 15,000 at present, but they're registered members. But obviously our support nationwide is getting massive and bigger by the day. Even locally it's getting bigger by the day, so we're just hoping to now bring it all together and make a difference.
John Sweeney, well, as you heard there, police have commented on the speed at which Darren Osborne was radicalised. The court heard he'd been seeking out far-right material online in the weeks before he carried out his attack. Amongst the material he read and saved were tweets from the man known as Tommy Robinson, the former leader of the English Defence League. I spoke to him a little earlier, and I asked him if he accepted any responsibility for the radicalisation of Darren Osborne.
No, of course I don't. I'm actually insulted that you're asking me that. What I can't understand is the narrative from the media this week. All over every news headline is a picture of me. I didn't know this man, I've never met this man, I've never direct messaged this man, which is a lie that's been put out this week on the media. I can't believe that you'd make...
Not on the BBC.
Yes, on the BBC. Today you called me alt-right, that was a lie as well. But all of the media has said that I sent him direct messages via Twitter. I never have. That's a lie. Complete lie told to the whole country.
You work for an alt-right organisation, that's the only thing that's fair to say.
No, it's not fair to say. No,
Right.
I don't. I work for a media company in Canada called Rebel Media. Now, the problem I have is that when we're talking about what's radicalised this man, we had 512 people injured and 22 children blown to pieces. We had 48 injured and 9 people murdered. We had 49 injured and 8 people murdered. We had all of this in a 4-week, 5-week barrier, and you'd think what everyone's trying to do is make it down to the fact that Rebel Media sent this man an email inviting him on a silent march.
So what he did was, and there was evidence that actually he'd been looking you up on the internet quite a lot, and he had looked at and copied tweets, 2 tweets particularly, and they were on the dashboard. So you had tweeted exactly what you're saying. Where was the day of rage after the terrorist attacks? All I saw was lighting candles.
Can I ask
and the
you
other
quickly,
one is anger. When a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger. Yes. What was the purpose of those tweets?
Can I ask you know the first message you just read, are you going to put a screenshot up of that on your screen? Because you've just completely took that out of context. What that was after Grenfell happened, far-left organisations were had a day of rage planned. They had leaflets calling for a day of rage. You've got that leaflet because that was part of that tweet, but you've purposely left the leaflet out of it, and you're making it sound like I said let's have a day of rage. What I was showing people was the hypocrisy in our country, that when our children are blown to pieces...
in this trial...
What you've actually just done is misrepresented the truth of a tweet. That's what you've done on this show on purpose.
Anger. When a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger. What was the purpose of that tweet? Because that tweet was on the dashboard of Darren Osborne's van when he attacked.
Why are you not sitting here reading? Darren Osborne wrote the reasons why he done this attack. Why are we not talking about the reasons why he done this attack? Shall I tell you one of the reasons why he done the attack? What he wrote? No,
he obsessively looked you up online. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, all I'm saying is he wrote terrorist march through our country today. There was an Al-Quds march. Now, the problem I have is that you're the BBC News and you did not report on that.
All I'm saying is, do you accept that there is a lot of hate speech about, and you've condemned that from other people, for example, Anjem Choudhury, who's now in jail. Do you take any responsibility for that being hate speech?
You think that's hate speech?
I'm asking.
No, do you think that's hate speech?
I'm asking you if it's hate speech.
No, it's categorically not. It's impossible. You have Muslims in this country, in mosques across this country, calling for the death of homosexuals, calling for the takeover of our country. That's real hate speech. Me saying don't look back in anger, me putting these tweets is not hate speech in any way. You're
why
trying
do
to
you
completely...
think? Why do you think that he obsessively looked for you online? Because actually, it's the case that you were presenting in a way that encouraged him to take action against people.
Absolutely unbelievable that you're saying that. 49 million people watched my videos in that 4-week period. And 193 million people read my tweets.
Yeah.
The reason why people are searching for me is because I give them the truth, unlike you. You're not giving them the truth.
Can I just say, Tommy Robinson,
Yes.
the fact is,
Yes.
after he attacked outside Finsbury Mosque,
Which he gave you a reason why,
wrote
didn't he?
a letter, and in that letter he quoted your tweet. All I'm asking you is, do you have any feeling? He did.
Please, for your viewers.
It was heard in court.
For your viewers,
it was heard in court.
For your viewers, read what he said. I'll tell you what he said. He quoted Sadiq Khan. He said, just part and parcel of living in a big city. He quoted Jeremy Corbyn.
He quoted you.
No, he didn't quote me.
He did. He quoted you in the tweet. He quoted you in his letter. He quoted that tweet.
Please tell me what
he quoted that.
No, he didn't.
Anger when a Muslim bombed our kids, we were told not to look back in anger.
Do you know what that was? No, he said, don't look back in anger. He didn't say that exact words. He said, don't look back in anger. The front page of the Sun newspaper after the Manchester attack was don't look back in anger. He didn't quote me, he quoted the national newspaper.
Do you deny that he quoted you in any way?
Yes, no, he gave reasons why he done this.
So he did quote you?
No, he didn't quote me. I can't believe why you're not even looking at the reasons. I can't believe you're not looking at the fact we had 3 massive terrorist attacks. We have 22,000...
This is not what this is about.
No, this is the reason why he done it.
This is about the rise of right-wing extremism and people being radicalised very quickly online, in court. And indeed, the commander of anti-terrorism at the Met said that people are radicalised within 4 weeks.
I'm embarrassed for the BBC. We had 3 terrorist attacks in quick succession, and rather than talk about them as a radicalising factor for why this man reacted, he told you why he reacted. You want to put it on the fact. You want to put it on the fact that I report the truth.
Excuse me, can I just say, terrorist attacks are appalling. Nobody is doubting that. All I'm saying is...
So you don't think the terrorist attacks had anything to do with the reason why he done this? You think it was because you think it's because I said don't look back in anger? Is that what your argument is?
I'm asking that there are contributory factors, and he was radicalised online, and the prosecution and the courts and the police said that he obsessively looked at you online and quoted your tweets. That's a fact.
No, the fact is, his wife said he was radicalised after your BBC documentary.
Do you
so
think
why don't you? No, excuse me,
please.
Why don't you sit why don't you sit the producer of that documentary down here and ask him if he feels responsible?
One final question.
No, you don't.
Is what Darren Osborne did appalling and reprehensible?
Of course it is. What sort of silly question is that? He's mowed down innocent people walking down the street. But also, what the BBC is doing is irresponsible and disgusting as a media outlet.
Thank you very much indeed.
With the police and work with the intelligence agencies to try to oust some of these characters.
Tommy Robinson, you can't wish to hear more than that, can you?
When you say Islamophobia, I believe there is Islamophobia in this country. I believe it's a phobia by the police force and the government to tackle extremist Islam and Islamic issues. You say that the police come down and they tackle these issues. Anyone who follows me on Twitter, if I just read out a few here, faggot, I'll stab your mum. Tommy, I'm going to get your family, I'm going to burn their faces, cut their heads off. Watch your time's coming, you white honky. I'm going to get your wife and your daughter. I'm going to kill your mum and light your house on fire. You see this knife? Have a good look. It's what's going through your throat. I have got hundreds upon hundreds of these.
I mean, I should just...
Would you have a ban on Muslims entering the country, new Muslims trying to have a home in this country?
I believe we need to protect the British public right now.
Muslims
are people. Islam is an idea.
Yeah.
Islam's an idea. A bad idea.
Islam is a faith.
No, it's an idea.
It's a faith.
It's an idea that you can change your mind.
No, it's a faith. Like Christianity.
Like Scientology.
Like all faith.
Ideology.
If you're saying that the problem is with Islam, are you accepting that you're Islamophobic?
Because there are 100 verses in this...
Yes or no,
okay.
Are you Islamophobic?
There's no such word as Islamophobia. Now, if I hold this book up and say, there will never be peace on this earth so long as we have this book, it's a violent and cursed book, that's wrong.
When you say Islamophobia, I believe there is Islamophobia in this country. I believe it's a phobia by the police force and the government to tackle extremist Islam and Islamic issues.
They talk about the burqa. So you've got burqas just everywhere. Everywhere. They've got no place in modern society, burqas. The burqa's just a complete... That to integration, that to Britain. This area now is literally just a complete Muslim area. It's got 19 mosques all within a stone's throw. And plans for another 6.
So driving through this area, are you unwelcome here?
Oh yeah, I'm completely unwelcome here, yeah.
What would happen if you were to walk through the streets here?
If I was walking the streets, I'd get battered. If I tried to walk from one end to the other, I wouldn't get out. Because they get on their phones so quickly. There's Saif al-Islam, that one there. Yeah, he's the leader. Yeah. What? What have I got to talk to you about? What have I got to talk to you about? What have I got to talk to you about?
What have you got to say about Islam and that, innit?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So why didn't you say it now?
What do you want me to say?
Yeah?
It's a ideology, it's got no place.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's got no place, bruv.
And what you
Sharia
got?
law's got no place in
What
this
you
country.
got?
What do you mean, what have I got?
Go on, tell me,
What do you
innit?
mean,
What do you
have I
stand
got?
for?
What do I stand for?
Yeah, what do you stand for?
Integration, bruv. I don't stand for paedophilic practices, yeah?
Yeah? What do you stand for? Go on, tell me.
What do you mean, what do I stand for? What do you stand for?
Racism,
How's it racism?
Eh?
How's it racism? How's it racist to oppose a fascist ideology?
Fascist ideology.
It is
And what
fascist.
do you? You're racist.
How am I racist?
You hate Asians,
what
yeah?
race? What race are
Yeah,
Asians?
yeah.
What race are Muslims?
I heard. Come on, clown. Where are you running away
Oh,
from?
because I know,
Why you running
I know
away
what you like, bruv. You have
Where-
about 100 you in a minute. You fucking little chief. You fucking chief. Prick. You see? That is Islam. You fucking little prick. Watch how many of them now turn up. I'll do your window up so you can't get out, because I'm telling you, look. Fucking pussy. Watch what I get with your fucking houses, you fucking muck. Fucking tramp. That is what they're like, you see? Now you understand, innit?
Embarrassment, have you seen you?
Give me your argument.
Have you seen you?
Tell me how
I'm down for a chat with some nice people today, and
Come
then
down
you
for
have
a
to
chat,
fucking
nice
turn
people.
up, don't you?
Give me one example. Oh, you don't like people turning up to your events? Oh, you like shutting down everyone else's free speech at universities, but no one's allowed to talk to you?
Hate speech is not free speech.
Give me an example of hate speech.
Hate speech is
Give
not
me one
free
example.
speech.
Give me one example.
I'm not going to glorify your words, brother.
Give me one
I'm not going to
example.
glorify your words.
Fuck off.
Oh my God, how embarrassing.
Give me one example. You give me one example. Come on. Come on, Swamp Man. Come on, Swamp Man. Give me Swamp Man. Give me one example. Give me one example. Give me... Actually,
Really funny. I was like, the amount of coke you must have had up your nose to make you think that's good. Hello. The amount of coke
Can you give me one example
of what?
Of my hate speech?
No, I can't be asked. Me?
So 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't spoke to you yet. You look like a character, don't you? He looks like a character, doesn't he?
Fuck off, mate. All
Look
right?
at him.
I don't want to take anything from
How
you,
masculine. Proper alpha male right here.
I don't give a shit about what you believe about my fucking gender.
Come on, mate. Gender.
I don't
Genderphobic. I might be genderphobic.
No, I'm just saying, I don't buy into your bullshit.
Tell
mate.
me,
I just
do you
really
believe I'm a
don't.
hate? Do you believe I'm a hate preacher?
Entirely, yes.
Can you give me one example?
Your disgusting Islamophobia.
Give me one example.
All the time,
Give me one
all
example.
the shit that you cite up hatred
Give me one
within
example.
communities in this country.
One example,
The
please.
amount of things you are responsible for in this country. The amount of attacks you are responsible for.
Can I have one example?
The disgusting hatred that you peddle. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
Can you give me one example, please, sir?
No, I'm not going to go anywhere.
You can't give me an example either?
No.
All words, all accusations, but no evidence? Is there any evidence out of any one of you people to say what I say that's wrong? Factually incorrect. Give me one factually incorrect thing I do. You look quite sensible.
You want me to give you a factually incorrect
No,
thing
give me something that I say that's factually incorrect. Come on. Come on, please, about Islam. Give me one thing I say about Islam that's not true.
Look, mate, we're not going to stand here and quote you
Because
I
you don't have an argument, one again. Look, can I see what it says on the back of your thing?
Yeah, free Palestine.
Have you ever been to Palestine?
Yeah. No,
have you ever been to Palestine? I have.
Because I'm banned from Israel.
Oh, you're banned from Israel. I've been to Palestine. I've spent.
I'm a member of the PSC.
You're a member of what?
Palestine Solidarity.
Palestine Solidarity. I'd love to see him in Palestine. You know what they do with you? They throw you off a rooftop, bro. They'd throw you straight off a rooftop for your sexuality.
To you all. Tommy, what's wrong with Islam today?
What's wrong with Islam today? You could look to any country in the world and pick any number of the things that Muslims are doing in the name of Islam. There's an entire state being created in the Middle East, which is propagating murder, rape, enslavement of non-Muslims. That's it, anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. There's a hell of a lot wrong with Islam today. Well, it's not just today, there's a hell of a lot wrong with Islam for the last 1400 years.
Are you anti-Islam and or anti-migrant?
I'm not anti-immigration, no. I'm also not anti-Muslim. I have a problem with the ideology of Islam because it propagates and incites hatred against me. It has a view of me as a non-Muslim, as a kafar, and I will speak out against it.
Also from my age range and my generation, where there's really no point in being divided on how we should treat each other. I think that if we listen, or at least I feel like a lot of people feel like if we listen to each other, if we have a civilized discussion about how we feel as opposed to what is right and wrong, a lot of people are willing to have that discussion. So I'm optimistic.
Tommy, you want to come in there?
Yeah, I'm not optimistic. I'd like to ask that lady what I've said that's factually incorrect, or if she's in support of punishment for apostasy, if she's in support of death for homosexuals, if she's in support of punishment for adultery. What is it that I oppose that she stands up for? I'd like to know what it is she stands up for, because or what I've said that's factually incorrect. Because she may not like hearing the truth, but the truth is still the truth.
All I'm trying to introduce the death penalty for homosexuals in Germany or in the UK. Who's doing that?
Pardon, what did you say?
Who's advocating right now? Is there a movement that you see in the UK or in Germany that is trying to implement Sharia law, let's say, is trying to advocate for death penalty against homosexuals? Is there something like that happening? What is Islamization?
Yes. Yes, there is Islamisation. In the UK, we have 85 operating Sharia law courts. 85. So yes, there is. There are many Muslims calling for Sharia across Europe.
Tommy, just to interrupt you for a second, correct me if I'm wrong here. I've spent the past 3 months in Doha. Before that, I lived and worked in London for a quarter of a century and up and down the UK. I have never, ever, ever seen Sharia law being applied by a legally constituted British court. That has never, ever happened.
Doesn't matter if it's a legally constituted British court. We have 85 Sharia court tribunals which are operating within our country, which are making decisions such as when a child gets to the age of 7, he's taken away from the custody of the mother and given to the father. The women are inheriting 50% less than the men. We have Sharia tribunals in our country. And when you're talking about what's going on across Europe, on New Year's Eve we had over 800 women who were sexually abused and assaulted in just one city. We've had people murdered and butchered by refugees in Paris. This lady says that the Pegida and groups like that are a danger to democracy. What democracy? No one's voted or asked if we want barbarians to come through our borders. No one's asked us. No one's asked the people of Europe. If you ask the people of Europe, they'll tell you quite frankly, we don't want people coming into our country who wish to bring their backward way of life or their culture or their intolerance with them. And that's the reality of where we're at in Europe.
I'm sorry.
OK, thank you for that, Bilgin. Tommy, I will come back to that point, Tommy, but I just want to put one quite fulsome point to you, if I may. I'm sitting here in a studio in Doha. We are in Qatar. We are arguably in the heart of the Middle East. Therefore, we are in the heart of Islam. Let me just read something to you from the Holy Book, and I want you to react to that, OK? And you can't see me, but I've got a copy of the Quran in front of me. There are parts of a Holy Book that talk about people being persecuted and killed. There are parts of a Holy Book that talk about people all over the world being killed because you are my followers. Another quote from one of the Holy Books in this part of the world talks about people being stoned to death with stones until they die. Another part of a holy book that one can read in this part of the world talks about utterly destroying your enemies, spare them not, but slay both man and woman. When you hear those quotes, what do you think that speaks to?
I'd ask you why you're reading the Old Testament to me.
You've had that before, haven't you?
Simple question.
So,
no, it's a simple question. I'm not stupid. You're sitting quoting verses from the Old Testament, thinking that I'm a moron that would think that's from the Quran. I know the Old Testament and I know the Quran. Can I ask you a question? Have you read the Quran?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah? So
in English, not in Arabic, but in English.
In English. Are you free, sitting where you are in Doha, to criticise the Prophet Muhammad? Are you free to do that?
Yes, I am. I have had intelligent conversations with my Islamic colleagues on the very same subject.
Yeah. So you know of the life of Muhammad, yes? You know that he murdered 600 people. You know that he raped. You know that he has... No. People in the Bible is very different to people in the Bible and the messenger of God, who is the most moral compass for every Muslim in the world. And when he is the moral compass for every Muslim in the world, and he married a 6-year-old child called Aisha, and he raped her when she was 9, I have a problem with that. And when people wish to live as Muhammad did in my country... Well, no. The country you're sitting in now, people from Israel are not even allowed to enter it. So if we want to talk about fascism, the country you're in now, People with Israeli passports. But, okay, is that untrue? Can someone in Qatar leave Islam?
Yes.
Is apostasy punishable?
You don't have to be Islamic to be in Qatar. You can leave the country, you can come into the country if you are Jewish.
A Muslim cannot leave Islam. Is punishable in Qatar. The country that you're talking to me from, the country whose tower I'm sitting in, the country that funds radicalisation worldwide, the country that supports Hamas, and you're sitting there trying to take some moral high ground about issues in the world that relate to Islamic extremism, when the country and the people who are paying your wage are propagating that extremism worldwide. I've come into this building and just had to go through an airport-style scanner, and when I asked why, they said because of the Paris attacks.
Tommy, I do have to move the debate on because I do have to move the debate on. Yes, of course I do. Because otherwise you and I will end up having...
what you're hearing.
No, that's not true, sir. Otherwise you and I will have to have... You and I will have to have a conversation down the pub the next time I'm back in London. Alexander, coming back to you, the imagery...
Pegada's demonstrations yesterday are peaceful. The only violence come from the far left who are attacking them. Can I ask how many refugees Doha, how many refugees Saudi Arabia have taken in? And a message, seeing as I am on Al Jazeera, and I know Arabs are watching this across the world, a message is that we don't want your money. We don't want your money in London. We don't want you funding madrasas. We don't want your blood or your petrol money in our country. The people of Europe are waking up. They're growing in confidence. They're organising, and they will resist every attempt, your efforts to Islamify and take over our continent. Because we know that your countries are behind this, the people at the top of your countries are behind this. If you so care about your worldwide ummah, let the Muslims in. Give them refuge in your country. That's culturally the same as you, ideologically the same as you. You give them refuge. Don't leave the burden upon the people of Europe, because what they're doing now in our country is raping their way through it.
Okay, we will, on that very strong and I suspect completely inaccurate point, we will have to leave the debate there. Thank you to all our guests who joined.
Yesterday I was contacted by the police who said they need to see me as a matter of urgency. Their officers are on their way to meet me now. It's Sunday morning and they contacted my solicitor. My solicitor said it's to do with threats against me, an endangerment of my life on my campaign trial. There'll be a shortly. The thing that's winding me up again is that I feel that for the past week, threats against me have been encouraged. When I was assaulted 3 times on my campaign, 3 times, not one person was arrested. The police actually dropped the Muslim who poured a milkshake over my head. The police dropped him to the train station. No arrest was made. South Wales Police, you'll see it now, they actually liked a video celebrating or a post celebrating an attack on me. I face a real threat now for the rest of my campaign trail, and it's been encouraged and celebrated across the country.
So we spoke with DC Brecknock.
Yep.
He made you aware of this threat.
I'm aware that the police are concerned for my safety, a threat to stab me, a threat. Are they, do they know who that is?
I think he said that you know who it is.
But are the police aware who it is? Do you know? Are they making an arrest?
DC Brecknock is responsible for the investigation. So
If it's,
it's been crimed and he is looking into it.
You see that? I've been advised that I may not take any action to resolve the matter because the last time I had a threat like this, I told the police, I said this person's threatened to murder my family. Yeah? I sat down, the police said we're doing it, we're going to get him, we're going to get him. I waited 48 hours and then I waited outside the bloke's house. And when he came out, I grabbed him, and then I had to ring the police and say, I've got him. Right. How come you haven't got him? He's threatened to kill my kids. Are the police actually going to arrest him? They've never ever arrested anyone, ever, for threatening to kill me. Ever. There's not been one single arrest.
Like I say, it's DC Brecknock that you need to speak to for any updates. But yeah, I mean, he's actively looking into it because he's crimed the matter and he's investigating it.
So this basically is asking me, will I sign to say that if I don't do this, then I'm responsible for my...
It's basically that you've been made aware of the threat and that you've been offered safeguarding advice. That's whether or not...
Do you know why this is so frustrating for me? Is that, I know it's not going to be you, but I was assaulted 3 times last week and I told police officers, she just punched me, he just punched me, he just stuck a milkshake over my head. Not one person was arrested. So I feel that when I'm asked and being signed this, I'm being asked to, if I agree with this, I'd rather that the police would sign one that just says they do their job. which if someone assaults someone, they get arrested. Because I feel that this threat has come from the encouragement that I feel the police have gave to attacking me. The police have actually gave a green card and said, if you want to hit him. If you want to throw a milkshake on him, throw one. And that's all been whipped up by the media. But if it just so I know it's not even to do with you, but for my point is, South Wales Police actually liked online an article celebrating the fact I was attacked. The police, the South Wales online police. So I know, like, because even this, a marked police vehicle can be parked. See, honestly, obviously, I don't want anyone knowing where my wife and children are.
Yeah.
So they're not here.
But it's just a safeguarding measure. So if you feel that you want a police car
Then they will.
here, then obviously that's something we can facilitate.
It's something that's open to discussion with this.
All right. Okay, cool.
All right.
Yep.
So we'll leave you with a copy. I don't know if you've got what your plans are for today, obviously. I think there's is it the open top bus thing today in
Luton. I'm not going. No,
I was going to say, if you do, there is an officer there that I think you might have spoken to before. Is it PC? Mason.
Oh, Mason, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be there, so if you want to talk to him about anything.
I'm not going.
I think he's quite happy to have a chat with you.
No problem. All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, no
Lovely.
problem.
Bye.
See you later. So the police have been and gone. Complete waste of my time every time. They're just covering, all they've come for is to cover their own asses. It's like, if I get killed, we told you. No, just do your job. Just do your job. That's all I want you to do. Anyone who's followed me for 10 years, how many people have threatened to murder and kill me? How many times have I been assaulted? No one has ever been arrested. No one's ever been arrested. Is that insane? The police, do you know how many times they've come? I've had like 8 or 9 Osman warnings. They've just come and sit me down and say, yeah, someone's going to kill you, but we're not going to arrest them. We're not going to do anything about it. People are going to punch you in the face. We're not going to nick them. And I know it's not those individual officers that I'm speaking to, but it's frustrating because they've encouraged it. The police have encouraged attacks against me. Even now, you've got businesses who are offering free milkshakes for anyone who attacks me. The head of the Daily Mirror saying he wants to replace the man's milkshake and shake his hand and make sure that he's okay. You've seen the footage. He was the aggressor. I was attacked all day. It does my head in. I just hope it exposes the so-called freedom that we have in this country on the democratic election campaign. Unbelievable. Thank you all for your support.
Radical extremist violent organisation, which this man, correct?
Yep.
Are you violent?
All against fascists.
So it's okay to be violent against fascists?
Yes, because your speech is violent.
So I'm standing in front of you, you've not been violent yet? So
no, why am I going to in this situation?
No, you just said it's okay to be violent against fascists.
Certain times, yeah.
At certain times. At certain times it's okay to be violent. At what times are they? When someone has a different opinion to you? At what time is it okay to be violent?
Listen, I'm not going to debate fascists, okay?
What time is it okay?
No, I'm not debating fascists.
No, come on.
Fascists don't deserve debate. They don't deserve a platform.
But they deserve to be beaten.
Mate.
They deserve to be beaten.
Yeah.
So what?
Yep, your day will come. Don't worry, pal. Don't worry.
Beat up fascists. He calls me a fascist. I'm standing right in front of him. Bro.
You can take a picture at the top, yeah. If that's
Yeah,
what
can
you
I?
want.
That's what I want.
Not what you in it, though. No.
Okay, so go on. Come on, man. Let me get a quick picture at the top. Come on,
Got it on video, pal.
No, but
Got it,
I want it for Telegram.
Back from visiting you today. Don't know what to say about Spencer really. He is absolutely heartbroken. He cried the whole way back. We went to TGI and he was crying, saying every kid is with their dad. And I'm the only one that doesn't have my dad here to do things. He cried himself to sleep. He got into a right state. He was saying he misses you so much and wants you home. He was angry at himself for getting upset in front of you. Says he doesn't want you to see him crying, and he tried not to cry on every visit, but he cannot help it. He's saying he doesn't want to go to Tenerife on holiday if you're not coming. He told me to cancel and said he would not get on a plane if it's not with you. Here's a fabulous moment. A year ago I booked a holiday with my family, with all of my family, to go to Tenerife for 2 weeks. We go on holiday on Friday, in 24 hours. I did not expect to come home today. I've been released today. My children are on their way home now. They weren't at home. So I just want to share that moment. Now, I could be bitter and angry about everything that's happened. If I'm bitter and angry, I'd accept my own victimhood. I'm their target, I'm not their victim. It's not the same for my son or for my family, but as I said, I've got so much to say about everything that's gone on, but I just want to share this moment with you as they come in. I'm anxious waiting for them, and I cannot wait. I am so excited. I've been emotional many times because I know how upset my children are. They don't know I'm home. My children don't know I'm home. They don't know I've been there. They've been with me. Come here.
Daddy! You put sweet in your mouth. Put sweet in your mouth.
A boy called Dylan Day. Dylan's 10 years old, and for many years of his young life he's been fighting and battling against cancer. He got cleared of cancer. He spent a year in hospital. He spent a year in hospital fighting against it. He got cleared of cancer, and now it's come back. And it's come back, and they can't fix it, and he's in palliative care. Now, he loves Matty B. Matty B is a YouTube star, and he gives children challenges. So they've brought that challenge into his hospital treatment. You'll see a video. I'll introduce you now to Dylan, who's 10 years old. This is a video of him doing his own little challenge so he can drink enough water, so he can get the water in his body, so he can come out of hospital. Have a watch.
Okay, I, Dylan Day, am going to drink all of them cups in seconds.
Do you want me to count you down, or are you going to do it?
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, it's doing it, it's doing it. This is the challenge. 1 to go. Superstar Dylan Day.
I've got a son a similar age, and when I'm watching this video of Dylan, it made me think about my kids. It made me think about my son. It made me think, we're in the build up to Christmas now, and I'm going to plan my, as many of you are, I'm going to plan my Christmas with my children, and I'm going to make plans for the future. And I can't even begin to think what it must be like for Dylan's family, that they can't make those plans. And the Amelia May Foundation sat down with Dylan and asked him if he had one wish, what would it be? And the Amelia May Foundation is a charity that's set up to help families that are suffering from neuroblastoma, which is children's cancer. They said, what would that one wish be? And he said, I'd wish to go to Florida to visit Disneyland. So we're going to go into his house now. We're going to meet with Frank, his dad. We're going to meet with Paula, his nan. They're in Manchester, and we're going to see if there's any way we can help them bring that little child his dream.
How you doing? Hi, son. How are you, man? Hiya, you alright? Alright, mate, nice to meet you. How you doing? Hiya. How you doing, alright? So it's Frank and Paula. We're here as a campaign. We're here with the Amelia May Foundation. Amelia May Foundation are a charity that support families that children are struggling with cancer. So we're here to talk about Dylan and to try and what's the goal? I see a Just Giving page has been set up. It's been set up to get a holiday to Florida for Dylan. Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell us Dylan's story, or when he got cancer? How old is he?
When Dylan was 3, he had he kept like complaining of like pains in his leg, and he was at the went to nursery and he couldn't stand up, and he was like, you know, like falling over basically. So Mum took him to the doctors, kept taking him back, and then it ended up, quite long story short, he ended up at the hospital and thought it was osteomyelitis. And what that is an abscess in your bone. So that's what they treated him for. And then it was about.
Well, he went 5.5 years, didn't he?
He went.
Wait, so he got so it was diagnosed as cancer.
The treatment didn't work, and he went 5.5 years without any treatment, and he was fine. And then it come back. He was walking funny, and it turned out he had a tumour in his spine, and that got taken out.
They didn't take all of it out. He couldn't get everything because it was the way it was on his spine. We met, what was it, about a week ago, and then she said, you know, that you might want to actually do a campaign, because she asked him, what did he want to do? What, if you could do anything, go anywhere, what would you do? And Dylan's answer was very, very firm.
Florida.
Florida. Because, I mean, I think more Florida because he wants to meet my baby, but, and that's what he said. And he said that's what he wanted to do, so it's all sort of like on, that, you know, it's all a bit of a, it's heartbreaking, but that's what he wanted to do, and that's why you're here really. So, you know, well, it's gone that fast, we don't really know what's going on.
So if can you go on the Just Giving page and just get up?
It says 10,096.
You're going to Disneyland, mate.
Really?
Oh, is it already on?
It's on, mate. Yeah.
Oh my God, thanks, mate. Wow.
Merry Christmas for Dylan as well.
Oh, thank you.
It's all right.
I don't know what to say. Can't leave it. Thanks a lot, mate.
That's it, mate.
Proper shot with that.
That's good. That's good. And John, who's John says he's going to come up next week and get it booked. And way to spend the money.
It's going to be absolutely over the moon.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, no, but that's not my little lad, man.
Where? I can't remember what it's called.
Florida and Disneyland.
Yes!
Why are you wrestling me when I just told you going Florida?
Yes! Are you happy?
This meeting was put together, or I was introduced to this family by the Amelia May Foundation. It's an amazing charity. I go to their yearly balls every year, and they do some amazing. I've seen the work they do. They help families who are in a position who I couldn't even imagine what it's like to be in that position. And when they're crying out for help and they need guidance, they need support, the Amelia May Foundation brings them that support. So I'm proud to support them. If you want to support a charity, get behind them. I just want to say a special thank you from myself to anyone who has supported me through my books, who is attending my book launches, anyone who comes to give me their support, because you've put me in a position where I can come up here and I can go home now, I can tell my family and everyone else who you supported me, you know that that young child, that Dylan, has had his wish. He's going to get his wish. He's going to Disneyland in the new year, so are his family, and for his dad and for his nan, you've given them everlasting memories from that holiday. And yeah, that's it. I just hope that and pray that Dylan has as long as possible to spend with his family. I can't think what it'd be like. I can't think what it'd be like to be in that position. But yeah, that's it. A special thank you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be bringing you videos in the build up to Christmas, more videos where we're spending time with the Amelia May Foundation and showing you the amazing work that they do.
She has fallen, I can't remember the exact term for it, but she has fallen cerebral palsy. But actually she's mostly affected internally, so it's her digestive system and her bowels and everything that are affected, and she was born with it or diagnosed with it within 6 months.
Within 6 months.
Yeah, she was discharged as a healthy baby, and Christmas Eve we found out that she actually had cerebral palsy after she stopped feeding.
Okay.
That was pretty hard.
On Christmas Eve? So you've been doing charity events, I understand, to try and raise the money. How much is the wheelchair?
I think it's about 21,000.
21,000? Altogether. And how much have you raised?
About 8,300, something like that.
8,300.
Yes, we've still got a fair way to go.
And what sort of, in the reasons of Daisy has this wheelchair. What difference would an electric wheelchair make to her life?
Massive, massive, huge difference. We're a rugby family, and all the boys play rugby. My other daughter plays rugby.
6 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah.
6 boys first of all.
Yeah.
We established that, so you carried on going.
And they're all rugby fans. They all play rugby. We're often at the local club. It would mean that Daisy could get around out on the pitch side by herself. It would just give her the independence to be included. We could take her to the beach, which I can't do anymore because she's too heavy for me to carry down.
Just for her to have her own independence. If she wants to go there, she can go there.
Yeah.
If she wants to go, and this wheelchair, I've looked at the videos of it. It stands up. It does everything.
Pretty fantastic.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does everything.
Yeah.
Daisy, would you be excited to get a new wheelchair? Yeah. Did it go fast?
I can control it, and I've never controlled one before. I've never controlled one before. Even though on the first bit I tried it was quite different.
Quite difficult.
Yeah.
Was it? You'll get the hang of it in no time. Is it fast? Is it fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it spin round? Yeah. Yeah.
And it's got a loud hooter as well, isn't it?
Has it got a loud hooter? Has it?
The more people you come in so you don't squash them.
I can have a race.
You can have a race. You can have a race on Sports Day. You'll probably beat everyone.
Yeah.
You'll probably beat everyone if you had it on Sports Day.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
How long has your husband been in the army?
Ever since I've known him.
Okay.
We joined up when he was as soon as he was old enough.
When I spoke to your friends who explained the situation, I met a gentleman called Knox. Lives near you. Lives near here. I'm going to speak to him in a little while because we got him a wheelchair and the public got him, and the public got him it as a thank you for his service. I think the public will completely support getting him a wheelchair. And as a thank you, it'd be an opportunity for them to thank your husband and thank you as a military wife. The wait to get this chair made is between 6 and 8 weeks. Christmas is coming, and wouldn't it be a beautiful Christmas present to give Daisy if you could wake up in a new wheelchair as well? So, if you could support this, then get behind it. It's a great cause.
I've been convicted of causing anxiety to Muslim paedophiles as they walked into court. For simply, all I asked them was, how are you feeling about your verdict? I was calm, I was polite. The judge said I was aggressive. The video is there to be watched. At no point was I aggressive. I called them, I said, all right lads, we quoted what I said. All right lads, how are you feeling about your verdict? How has the trial gone? Exactly what every one of those journalists has done to me as I walked into court. It's very clear that I have been convicted because of who I am, not what I've done. A president has been set that says there is no, this can be used as a president against any media or citizen media to prevent any photos being taken. She found me guilty of taking a picture of them as they walked into court. How many journalists took a picture of me today as I walked into court? I wouldn't mind, you know what? I wouldn't mind if I was aggressive to them. I wasn't aggressive to them. I was calm. They have, it's a complete, do you know what? All that can be said is it's lies. And do you know why they do? After removing our ability to reach the public on social media, they think they can get away with it. I truthfully believe on the 11th of July, I'll be sent back to prison at the start of the kids' summer holidays, you bastards.
Bastards! Scum! About your verdict. About your verdict.
My barrister asked me then about mitigation. I can apologise to try and reduce your sentence. There will be no apology. I've done nothing wrong. No law, committed no crime. This is a direct attempt. It's aimed by the government. Part of the reason, again, they know that prison for myself is a matter of life and death. So they know that I will want to fight again this case. My lawyers have already said we have the ability to appeal this conviction. That's another £30,000 or £40,000. This whole fucking thing's ridiculous. But we have spent £115,000 so far fighting this case. We have received no legal aid. The Muslim paedophiles from the Rochdale grooming case were given £1 million of our money to fight that case. The court ordered that those paedophiles would be deported when they're released from prison. Those paedophiles are still walking around the streets of our country.
Raping our daughters.
One of the men from the Huddersfield grooming gang has never faced justice because the judge gave him bail and he absconded to Pakistan. I will be put in jail for the second time for asking his friends and colleagues and joint enterprise mates how they feel about their verdicts. I'll just say that it's a sad day for British justice. It tells everyone in this country the system is corrupt.
Corrupt to the core! Drain the swamp! Brilliant bloke!
There was a secret court where journalists weren't allowed to report, but you don't really care for freedom, do you? It goes like this without the fifth. The gavel falls and they cuff your wrists, and it's not okay that this is how they rule ya. 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 Tommy has been here before. He's seen his room and he's walked this floor. Last time they tried to kill him, but he endured, yeah. They need the votes for the growing state, and they don't care who the voters rape. And it's not okay that this is how they rule ya. 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 There was a time the press let you know who was really coming to your shores, but now they don't tell the story ever true, yeah. The state tries to say Tommy is racial hate, but really it's a fear of a caliphate. And the state says no, take it, this is how we rule ya. 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 Now pedophiles are celebrated, while Tommy Robinson incarcerated. But you don't really care for children, do ya? The grooming gangs moved in on you, and the kids looked up to you for truth. Please don't just say, baby, this is how we now rule ya. How they 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 rule ya. Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson. Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson. Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson. Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson.